Blind Date with Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa reviews the singles of October 1968.
I'm the urban spaceman, baby, I've got speed.
It's sort of bad taste. It's a good mix and the engineering sounds quite competent, and it's the true test of a record if it sounds okay on a crappy record player. I've heard about the Bonzo Dog Band, but I think this is rather opportunist. Every speed freak in the country will want to identify with this. I like the ending. I never was gone on old-time music. The vocals sound a lot like Mick Jagger, but the drums are too good for Charlie Watts. I'm not saying Charlie Watts is a bad drummer because I like what he plays, but this is a bit more complicated. I'd like the record better if there weren't any singers, because I can't understand a word. If I did know what they were singing, then I'd really be repelled. It sounds competently produced, but it's basically a cross between Buddy Holly and the Everly Brothers. This is a most acceptable teenage record that won't take too much trouble to understand, if you want to understand. As a remake of an old style, it's not funky enough. The guitar break in the middle is modern, but they did it better in the old days. I used to listen to Buddy Holly and the Crickets in the 50s, but I was more interested in black music.
I ain't gonna be the kind that does what he's told no more. No more.
No idea who it is. I like the drums, but it's too slick, and it sounds English and white. The guy has been practicing in nightclubs. Who is it? Oh, Jon Hendricks. Well, the first time I heard Mose Allison I would have sworn that he was colored. And a lot of colored people thought he was colored. When they booked him for the first time into a colored club in New York, they wouldn't let him work. He might have got killed. You can never tell with some of these clubs. I like Mose Allison. I think he's a groove. I'm not too thrilled about black music that doesn't sound like their heritage and becomes too ethereal and sophisticated. It's a trend of reversing roles. I wonder if a guilty conscience causes that. Tamla Motown have produced some detestable records. I liked Reach Out by the Four Tops though. But some of the acts are so frighteningly plastic. One of the ugliest things I have seen is Diana Ross's smile. It gives me the creeps. It's like she's got props at the side of her mouth, and a button that Berry Gordy switches. Soul music lacks soul, and yet the public believes in it. James Brown used to be funky when he just sang. But now he's got a jet plane and a silk suit and stardom. I must say that it's a pleasure to hear this after the other records you have played me. Even the stylus skipping on the record sounds great. I like this very much and I don't even care who it is. This has some emotional content and they are playing interesting things. I like jazz very much, but I seldom listen to it because I don't listen to radio and I don't have many albums. I listen mostly to classical and contemporary music. Sometimes the jazz stations on the radio can be as bad as the pop stations because the DJs always interrupt and tell you how much they really know about the music. On a soul station in Los Angeles, they have a DJ who calls people up on telephone and gets them to say "Have mercy." There is a special way of saying "Have mercy," and he's trying to make finger-popping spades out of all the kids who call up. I can't recognize Jasmine on record, so I don't know who this is. I can only recognize rhythm and blues guitarists. Nice drum solo here, good hand and feet coordination. I like Tony Williams a lot. He's frightening. He'd make a good rock drummer. Shelly Manne plays on Lumpy Gravy.
Tough man, never gonna be a tough man.
It lacks guts. I don't mind a record that sets out not to have guts, but I lose interest when it pretends to have some. I'm not a judge of this type of music because I'm too old, but this is liable to get thousands of teenagers into screaming ecstasy. The musicians don't sound as if they mean it or believe in it. The people who started making rhythm and blues records didn't do it because it would be a hit, they did it because they wanted to do it. It's Ruby Baby by the Drifters. I went to high school with that record. I really like that. We'll have to bring it back. I used to remember all the details and numbers on the record sleeves. Does this album have Steamboat or Your Cash Ain't Nothin' But Trash? This is very slick compared with the funky rhythm and blues they used to play. I don't respond well to romantic music, because I always see a boy and a girl in love, swooning and crooning in front of old guys in evening dress on a stage covered in the Star-Spangled Banner.